Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video we are going to be comparing and ranking all 6 of the brand new Ninjago Ninja Scuba suits from Ninjago Seabound. That was quite the mouthful to say. Now obviously there are 6 scuba suits in total according to the sets. In the Seabound season itself, only 4 of the 6 ninja had scuba suits, but the sets include all 6. So I figured I would break down and rank all 6 of these scuba suits because I haven't really talked about them in detail just yet, and I really enjoy all of these scuba suits. I think having the ninja go underwater is a fantastic idea, and we saw that carried out very effectively during Seabound. The ninja used these suits very effectively in combat and exploration, and I figured I would rank all 6 of them here today for you guys. For a couple of quick disclaimers, this video will just be my own opinion. You probably will not agree with these rankings, and in case you don't, I encourage each and every one of you guys to rank the 6 ninja scuba suits down below in the comments based on your own opinions. This video will just be my own opinion, and hopefully we can get a discussion going in the comments. Alright, I think I've just about covered everything that I need to before we actually get into the rankings, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. Here are the 6 ninja scuba suits ranked worst to best in my own opinion. Coming in at the bottom of the list, this might surprise some of you, we actually have Cole's scuba suit. Now Cole's suit I really enjoy. Like I said, I don't think any of the scuba suits are necessarily bad, but this one is definitely triggering my OCD a little bit. For one, the orange doesn't bother me. I love the orange coloring. I think anytime you can give Cole an orange secondary color, that's perfect. I prefer orange as a secondary color for Cole as opposed to, say, brown or gray. But what bothers me about this scuba suit in particular is the chest print. It reminds me way too much of his island variant, and the suit in the island was actually very good for Cole, but here it doesn't really translate, especially when you compare him to the other ninja suits. All of the other ninja scuba suits have their symbols pasted in large yellow writing on their torso print. Cole does not for some reason. His, like I said, is more similar to his island look. However, like I said, the rest of the suit isn't that bad. It's just that minor thing in the middle that just bothers me so much. I don't know why, but it just does. That's just my OCD talking once again. But like I said, this suit is still very solid. Cole is still my favorite ninja out of all 6 of these guys, but his scuba suit does indeed leave a little bit to be desired. I like the blue goggles though. At first I was kind of concerned that the blue goggles would kind of clash with his color scheme. I don't think it does. I think it adds to that aquatic feel that the actual suit has, so that doesn't really bother me too much. It's just the symbol in the middle that's basically throwing me off about this suit, but regardless, it's still very good. Let's go ahead and move on to number 5. Coming in the number 5 spot, we have Scuba Kai. Now Kai's scuba suit, like Cole's, did not appear in the actual show itself, but the suit itself is still really cool to me. It fits in with the ninja suits that we actually did see in the show for Seabound, but Kai's of course takes a little bit more of a Kai approach to it, if you catch my drift there. Like with Cole, the blue goggles don't really clash with the color scheme too much. That really doesn't bother me, and I think the silver on top of the red and yellow is a very good color scheme for Kai. Gold also doesn't look too bad, but I'm glad that they went with silver here because it definitely fits, like I said, that underwater approach, and Kai in silver looks pretty good like I just said. The symbol is nice and bright on the middle of Kai's torso. That's what I really didn't like about Cole's suit, is that the symbol was kind of just pasted on there. For the rest of the ninja, especially Kai, it looks good. My only issue with Kai is honestly the leg printing. I'm not sure why the leg printing bothers me here, but Kai's leg printing just kind of looks a little simplistic compared to some of the other ninja suits, and Kai's torso print, while I did compliment it earlier, admittedly it does look kind of basic. Some other ninja have some more complex features going on here. I wonder if this is a result of Kai's suit not even existing in the show, but regardless, Kai's scuba suit still looks really good and I really enjoy it. Like I said, none of these scuba suits are necessarily bad. Next up on the list, we have Nia in the number 4 spot. Now, of course, Nia being the center of Seabound, it would make sense that her Seabound suit would kind of be decked out the most, and I feel like it definitely is. I feel like the yellow fits in with her gray and blue color scheme. What I don't enjoy about the colors, though, is that Nia has more of the aquatic blue on her than gray. It's another one of those cases of Nia just not making up her mind and choosing a color. She kind of bounces back and forth between gray and light blue, and I feel like this suit is just a little too light blue for my taste. I would have preferred if the light blue and the gray would have swapped colors. I think that would have looked 10 times better, but regardless, Nia's scuba suit is still very good. The helmet piece, though, I do admit it does kind of blend in with the blue of the goggles, which doesn't really give that much contrast. I really like contrast, which is why I thoroughly enjoy the rest of the color scheme, but in terms of the helmet, it's not ideal. But what I really enjoy about Nia's scuba suit overall is just how iconic it is. I think this suit in general is a very good centerpiece for the entirety of Seabound. I think Nia being the center of Seabound, they obviously put a lot of work and effort into her design for this season, and I think it definitely worked here. Like I said, the colors are awesome. Between the blue, the gray, and the yellow, those three colors work really well together and definitely fit the underwater aquatic theme. It's just the placement of some of those colors for me isn't really my most preferred thing, and I would have preferred if they would have swapped colors around a little bit. Regardless though, Nia's scuba suit is still very solid. Another thing that I must compliment really quick about Nia's scuba suit is the little circle on the top of her torso. Not sure what that's supposed to be representing. It kind of reminds me of an Iron Man arc reactor, but I thought it looked really good in the show, and in minifigure form, it doesn't look all that bad either. So Nia takes the number 4 spot on this list. In the number 3 spot, we actually have Scuba J. Now, what I really enjoy about J's suit, like Nia's, is that it's very blue. It fits with the underwater aesthetic, but what I really enjoy about J's suit in particular is that it has multiple shades of blue helping to assist the color scheme. We have a traditional blue, we have a dark blue, and we have the translucent light blue of the goggles. I think all three of those colors work really well to create a very appealing looking suit for underwater J. I really love how the black goes into the color scheme as well, and I really love the yellow. I think in general, yellow works really well when combined with blues. That's what I really enjoyed about Nia's suit, and Jay's suit also takes advantage of that yellow, and I think that does a really good job in terms of the overall minifigure. The only thing that I don't really like is the simplistic leg printing. I think it starts out really complex towards the top of the legs, but as you get deeper into the leg and as you go down more, it gets less and less complicated, which I'm not a big fan of, especially considering how the rest of the figure is very well detailed. But overall, I really enjoy Scuba J. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is just how appealing it is to the eye. I love how every shade of blue works together, and it creates a very solid looking underwater interpretation of J, and for that, this suit does indeed take the number 3 spot on this list. I really am a big fan of Scuba J. In the number 2 spot, we have Scuba Lloyd. Of course, the runner-up spot on this list is going to be Lloyd because I really enjoy how this minifigure looks. My biggest concern going in was that the blue on the goggles wouldn't really fit all that well with his overall green color scheme, but to my surprise, it actually does. I really enjoy how Scuba Lloyd looks, especially in terms of the head mold. I think that helmet is a very good mold, and I love the coloring going on with the translucent blue and the green. Of course, the black helps too, but I feel like the blue and the green work really well together. I was not expecting that. It kind of gives this figure a more, I guess, underwater mossy type look. Like Lloyd would definitely work really well in terms of a color scheme towards the bottom of the ocean floor. I think that would look amazing. In terms of the rest of the suit, it's not my most preferred print, obviously. In terms of the legs, they're not really super complicated, but the upper torso definitely is. I love the use of the dark green as well as the more traditional green. We've seen that a lot lately with Lloyd figures, but I feel like this one actually does indeed work, especially in terms of the black being added as well. Also, the yellow works okay with Lloyd. It's not my favorite combination between the green and the yellow. I think Lloyd works better with green and gold, and I feel like I'm more used to seeing that color scheme. The yellow being a little bit more bright than gold definitely does kind of mess with my eyes a little bit, but overall I'd say Scuba Lloyd is a very good interpretation of what Lloyd would look like underwater. I really enjoy how this minifigure looks, and if I had to nitpick anything, it would probably be the yellow on here and the lack of leg printing in some areas, but then again, both of those things are very consistent with the Scuba figures, so it's not really the fault of this figure in particular. And of course, that would mean that Scuba Zane takes the number 1 spot on this list. Now, Scuba Zane, I think, is really appealing for a lot of different reasons. For example, I really love how the yellow works on this version of Zane. My original concern was that yellow wouldn't really work with Zane's color scheme, but it absolutely does here. I love just how little there is too. It's very subtle. It's a very subtle little dash of yellow, but it does a lot. It creates Zane's symbol in the center of Zane's torso, and I think that looks awesome. I also really enjoy, speaking of the torso, the mechanical design work going on here. It's very similar to that of his island counterpart, and I could tell that some of those design choices kind of transferred over to this version of Zane, but I really enjoy how this figure looks. I think it looks awesome, especially with the colors. We get a nice combination of white, blue, yellow, and gray. I think that looks awesome, especially with the black being added as well. I don't think this suit looks all that bad. The helmet design looks awesome. I love how Zane's using his titanium face here. I think the titanium face blends well with the blue goggles, and of course, Zane having blue accents already, the blue goggles actually go a long way to add to his figure. If I had to complain about one thing, it would be the lack of leg printing, like I said, but at least this version of Zane has toe printing. Not every scuba ninja has printing on the toes, and I think that toe printing actually does go a long way to make this figure definitely stand out and pop. Like I said, this version of Zane is really cool. I love how Zane actually gets a full-on scuba suit when he goes underwater. He's not really excluded from this, which I think is very good. I love how they're actually giving Zane a scuba suit, and the fact that it's the best out of all of them, at least in my opinion, absolutely blows me away. I think this scuba scuba suit is definitely the best out of all 6 of the Ninja, and that'll pretty much do it for my entire ranking of these 6 Ninja scuba suits. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, none of these scuba suits are necessarily bad, I just prefer some over others. I think overall the Scuba Ninja were very well executed. Having an underwater ninja wouldn't really sound good on paper, but the actual designs that LEGO has made for these guys, they look great, and I can't really complain too much about any of these guys. I can't wait to get them all in a few months when they actually come out in my country, in terms of the sets of course, but going through each one and kind of ranking them individually actually gives me an opportunity to admire these figures even more. And like I said, I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed my ranking of them. Now I will leave it open to you guys down below in the comments section. Feel free to rank all 6 of these scuba suits from worst to best, and let me know what you thought of my video down below. Thank you all very much for watching this one. That'll pretty much do it for my thoughts here today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video once again. My name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.